Thank you for tuning in to Be a Singular Sensation. Tonight, we are joined with Mrs. Rose Powers of Streetlight Community Outreach. Thank you for joining us, Rose.
Well, thank you for inviting me.
Please tell our viewers about Streetlight.
The Streetlight Community Outreach Ministries is a 501c3 nonprofit organization, and we were established here in Prince William County to help the poor and the homeless in this area to alleviate suffering among this group of people. We have several outreach programs to meet the needs of the people, the people who are homeless or in distress. First of all, we have a food pantry. Secondly, we have an outreach dinner, which meets every Wednesday night. This is not a soup kitchen. This is actually a very lavish buffet dinner that we offer every single week. We have a little program for the homeless, plus we have social workers there from the county. These are called path workers, and they come out to try to connect the homeless to mainstream services. We, of course, have our own case managers there to connect with the homeless and to begin to prepare them to take those steps to help them regain permanent housing. In addition, we provide financial assistance for crisis needs, things like rental evictions, utility cutoffs. We provide money for rental deposits for families and individuals who are literally homeless, who have income. Plus, we provide assistance with hotel rooms for families with children, as well as medically fragile individuals who cannot get into the existing shelters. Now, finally, what we're very, very proud about that we offer is permanent supportive housing as well. We currently have 27 units. We own 3 houses, and these houses are used for group housing for people of the same sex. And then we actually lease 6 apartments. So we have 2 3-bedroom apartments, and these apartments are actually reserved for homeless people who are medically fragile. You'd be surprised how many medically fragile people are out there living in the woods trying to cope with chronic illnesses such as diabetes, even cancer, and heart disease.
Wow.
So, and then the other 4 apartments are 2-bedroom apartments, and these are reserved for homeless people who are disabled.
Now, let me ask you, for the locations, the facilities you just mentioned, are they all to capacity, or do you have any openings?
Right now we have 2 openings. One in, they're both men's. One is the men's house, which is down in Triangle, and then one of the apartments has an opening for a male.
And so, if someone was in chronic need, how does the process begin? What do they do? If someone watching may know someone who may meet your need, so how do they contact you? How do they start the process?
Well, they could call the office, make an appointment to come in. We would give them an application to fill out. Once they fill out the application, then they would go through an interview process, first with 2 of our case managers and then with our director of the housing program. If everything looks good, then we begin collecting the documentation that they need, such as ID, birth certificates, this kind of thing, any kind of income statements, that all has to be processed. And once all of that is collected, we get them certified and we move them in.
Okay. And what are types of ongoing programs? Because before I came up here to meet with you and interview with you tonight, I was on your Facebook page, and I see tomorrow you have haircuts, free haircuts going on. What other types of services like that do you all provide?
Well, this is a special event. We've been doing it. We have a group that's partnering with us to provide those haircuts, and they're doing it monthly right now. And it's connected to our outreach dinner for the homeless.
Oh, okay.
And additionally, some of the things we provide, we have a job readiness program to help people with things like just to learn how to write resumes, for the job search process, for the job preparation, for the interview preparation process, as well as for things like credit repair.
That is greatly needed.
All of our residential clients receive case management, wraparound case management services. And for our medically fragile clients, we actually have in-home respite care. We have a nurse, licensed nurses that actually go into the houses, and they provide an initial assessment once a client moves in, and then they monitor their health progress. We conduct health literacy workshops for all of our clients. We have art therapy workshops for all of our clients. We have group therapy workshops for all of our clients.
You are doing a lot of work, a lot of good work in our communities.
A lot of our clients have a lot of special needs and a lot of complex issues, which led to homelessness in the first place. So it takes a team, it takes a village to help one person.
How big is your team and your volunteers?
We have at least 60 volunteers that serve on a regular basis.
Now, how do you screen your volunteers? What if someone watching would like to become a volunteer and help you with your mission?
Well, if somebody wanted to, say, serve at our outreach dinner for the homeless, they could come on a Wednesday night, just sign in. If it's just one or two people, just any Wednesday night they can show up. If it's a group, we do have a rotation schedule, so we just put them on the schedule.
Nice.
And, but we do need to know in advance so we can schedule that group so that they, if they bring 10 or more people, really it has to be a night where we don't have another large group, or else people would be standing around with nothing to do.
Do you have an age requirement for your volunteers?
Yes, we do prefer that the children be over 10 years old. We do serve the chronically homeless. People have been unsheltered sometimes for years. Some of them do drink, so when they come, they may have been drinking, and if they're not disruptive, we allow them to stay so that they can eat.
Okay, and do you have a training for your volunteers? Because I understand, like, I volunteered with the homeless. Everyone who may want to volunteer may not know what they're really about to get into. Do you have any particular things you cover in your volunteer training to prepare them?
Well, yes, we do give instruction for all of our Wednesday night volunteers when they first arrive, if it's their first time. We some do's and some don'ts.
Yes,
That we are very careful to go over with our volunteers. We do have training classes. We always need volunteer mentors to help with our residential clients, especially the medically fragile clients, because very often they do not have cars, they cannot drive, and they're too weak sometimes to even get to the bus stop, to get to their doctor appointments, or even to go shopping, grocery shopping. As soon as our clients come into our program, we always work to get them their food stamps and any other mainstream benefits that they're entitled to. So buying the groceries is not the problem. It's getting them to the grocery store and then home again with those groceries.
Now, do you have a website you could share just in case someone wants to volunteer to be one of those mentors?
Yes, our website is www.thestreetlight.org.
Okay.
And our phone number is 703-491-2288. And if you're interested in volunteering, you can either go on the website and there's a contact information that you can fill out, or you can call the office directly.
And about the tent cities, are there any particular areas you cover in Prince William County, or is it all tent cities? How does that work out when you service the tent city areas?
Well, the tent cities, we primarily serve the tent cities that are in the eastern Prince William end of town. And even then, really the campsites that are in closer to Woodbridge area. I mean, once in a while we get down to the Dumfries campsites, but it's not very often. But we do have some pretty large campsites in the Woodbridge area. Woodbridge, bordering on Lake Ridge a little bit as well.
What are your greatest needs overall and in particular? What is something, because we're approaching December, in January. It's about to get extremely cold outside. So, for the viewers watching at home or online, wherever you are, what is your greatest need overall and to help with those in the tent cities?
Well, right now, the biggest need is propane.
Okay.
So Streetlight does distribute propane every other week. We actually go out into the campsites. We pick up the 20-pound propane tanks that a lot of people have, and we take them and we get them filled. And then we bring them back to the homeless again. It's very hard for them to carry those large propane
I can
tanks,
imagine.
especially when they're full. So that's how we help. Not only is it hard to carry, but it's expensive. So we provide not only the transportation to get them filled, but we pay for having them refilled. We also need warm coats. The sub-zero sleeping bags are good for this time of the year. Streetlight always hands out tents, the buddy heaters, that helps to heat the tent. You know, they use the buddy heaters that's how they heat their tents. So warmth, think warmth for the winter, and blankets, anything like that is always desperately needed. Warm socks. They go through their socks so fast because as soon as it gets wet outside, everything gets soiled, especially if there's a hard rain or snow, everything just gets drenched. So they go through things like socks very quickly. And so they're constantly looking for things like that. Gloves, hats, those kinds of things. Very needed.
So if you were watching, you were just provided an extensive list of what they need. Please contact Mrs. Powers and make a donation. And can you say your website one more time?
The website is www.thestreetlight.org.
And if we see anyone, we're coming up on hypothermia season, just everything. What can we do? If we're driving, we see something, what can we do to help them just right there on the street? What could we do? Do we report to you?
Well, if you see somebody on the streets, you could direct them to Streetlight.
Okay.
And let them know that at Streetlight they can get a warm meal, they can get propane, they can get a tent, they can get sleeping bags. Also, there is a drop-in center that Streetlight works with quite closely, and a thermal shelter during the winter months.
Okay. Is this the one by the PRTC?
By the PRTC.
Okay.
Yes.
And any final remarks?
Well, you know, Streetlight is very proud of all that we're doing. We're very thankful to be able to do what we are doing, but a lot more is needed. So we do have a goal of building a multi-unit facility to house the chronically unsheltered homeless, and this is a best model practice that we have adopted. It would be an upscale apartment style complex with individual efficiency styled apartments. Within this building, of course, we would have a large community center to promote that sense of fellowship and community among our clientele. And then, of course, wraparound case management services.
Awesome. Thank you all so much for everything you are doing in the community.
Well,
thank you.
Thank you so much.
And thank you at home for tuning in. Remember to be a good neighbor. We are all each other's keeper. Let's help one another and look out for one another. And be a singular sensation. Good night.